reports say that Senate negotiators moved closer to striking a broad deal on changes to U.S. border policy after the White House offered concessions to win Republican support for Ukrainian aid. Joining us right now is Jake Sherman. He is Punchbowl News, also an MSNBC contributor. Jake, this is a pretty big deal, and we've been waiting to see what happens. How much progress do you think has actually been made? Where could we see a negotiation?
So I think, Becky, there's a few things to think about. Number one, you have to think about Joe Biden's politics here, and that is why the White House is negotiating. The border it has huge issues, and he wants to unlock Ukraine aid. So, but the big question, excuse me, the big question is, number one, will progressives go along? We wrote this morning, there's a lot of progressive angst on Capitol Hill right now over the contours of this border deal, which in effect, I don't want to overstate it, but in effect restore, or at least somewhat restore, some of the Trump era immigration policies. That's number one. Number two, the House of Representatives is locked in on two issues. Number one, many conservatives and more than half of the House Republican Conference does not believe that Ukraine should get any more aid. So doing a border deal to unlock Ukraine aid is not something that they want to do. And number two, they are much more conservative on the border than the Senate and the White House. So listen, I am bearish for now. This is not a 2023 story. This is a 2024 story. This is not going to happen in the next week. But it's notable that the White House is finally engaging after months of sitting on the sidelines.
You point to the need for the White House to do this based on some polls. There was just a Bloomberg poll I saw this morning, and in the swing states, it shows that Joe Biden is trailing Donald Trump in all of those battleground states. And I think that things have gotten worse. And in Michigan, he's even declining there. Does this worry the White House at this point? What are the implications of that?
The White House doesn't want us to focus, us as the general public, on polling because they think it's early and they think polling stinks, and there's probably something to that. But listen, the preponderance of public evidence indicates it's going to be a tight race in 2024 on a whole host of issues, whether it's the economy, which people, despite flashing good signs, think is not up to par, and inflation and the border and things of that nature. Biden's age, another issue. Now, listen, I can tell you on Capitol Hill, to a person, Republicans think they've never had a better political environment than they do now into 2024. And some people wonder whether they should not even do any border legislation because that means they will own part of the mess at the border. So, and I'll add one more thing, Becky. 2024 is an election year. Election years are usually quiet, but it's going to be an incredibly busy first 4 months of the year with two government funding deadlines, FISA, which is the surveillance program, a deadline there. FAA reauthorization comes up in March, and then you're going to have this border and Ukraine issue, which is not going away. Remember, it's not only Ukraine. It's Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, three U.S. allies that are in need of aid.
And that deal, there's no way there's going to be a deal that gets done before the holiday recess, right? Because they're leaving. They've only got a couple of sessions left.
The House will be out of town by 11 a.m. today. The Senate will probably be out of town by the early afternoon. Now, listen, if something magically comes together, they could come back. But Republicans have spent years in the House saying we don't like doing these Christmas season legislative deals. So I can't imagine they're gonna come back and do it.
And then the pressure on them to do this quickly in January would be what?
Well, it will be that Ukraine needs the money, number one, which it's interesting. The Volodymyr Zelensky, when he was in town, told Fox News, I believe, and also told Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, privately that he does not need the money before the end of the year. But I think that will change when it comes to January. And I think there'll be intense pressure not only for Ukraine, but also for Israel, which is an ally that a country that the Republicans have allied themselves with over the last couple decades. And I think that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to come to Congress and say that $14 billion, we could really use that. It's time for you to pony up.
Jake, before we let you go, it seems like nobody in Washington can make a deal ever, except apparently you, because there's a transaction that was just announced within the last half hour, Punchbowl buying a company called Electo Analytics. And I just wanted to understand what this was.
Yeah, so
it was bipartisan.
Thank you. It's a nonpartisan transaction. We are digging deeper into our area of core competency, which is legislative politics, the politics of legislating. It was a deal that's come together over the last 8 or so months that will allow our readers, our subscribers, deeper insights into Congress. We're very excited about what that will bring in 2024.